Hi, Dr. Susan Claney here, and many of you who know me know I often talk about the importance of gut health, and today I would like to focus on the importance of hydrochloric acid or stomach acid. Having enough HCL or stomach acid is critical for good digestion and immune health. Without adequate stomach acid, food is incompletely digested and failure of assimilation occurs. If this happens, we become vitamin and mineral deficient. When a person starts to eat, the stomach is stimulated to starting to produce some acid. The hydrochloric acid activates the chief cells in the middle portion of the stomach to start secreting a protein digesting enzyme known as pepsinogen. Pepsinogen requires the presence of hydrochloric acid in order to begin digesting protein. The major role of HCL is to activate pepsinogen, not digest food, which now becomes known as pepsin. Stomach acid gradually increases during a meal. When the stomach acid amount is elevated, which normally takes about 20 to 30 minutes after eating, it neutralizes enzymes from the mouth. It helps to kill bacteria, parasites, viruses that enter the food, carbohydrate digestion is reduced, and protein digestion starts. There are many consequences when hydrochloric acid production is not adequate. So there are a number of reasons of why you have low hydrochloric acid. Okay, so I'm going to start with a few. One of the reasons why you have low hydrochloric acid is when you're eating when you're upset. Hydrochloric acid secretion may be completely inhibited by stress, emotion, or worry. It is the low-grade, long-term, emotionally orientated life stress that is more the culprit here. Please note that intense stress caused by high-stress situations or the desire for high achievement is often associated more with hydrochloric acid over-secretion or hypersecretion and peptic ulcer disease, well, at least initially. As the stress continues, the body's exhausted and the HCL production is no longer adequate. Another reason you could have low stomach acid is you're eating a nutritionally deficient diet of processed and fast foods. Okay, welcome to the American diet, right? Another reason is lack of sufficient minerals in your daily diet. Another reason is excess carbohydrate consumption and poor food combining. You might also have a zinc deficiency and then you can't produce HCL adequately. You might have a B vitamin deficiency, especially thiamine, especially if you drink a lot of alcohol. Refined sugar also depletes a lot of minerals. You have to replace mineral-depleting refined sugar and sweeteners with maple syrup, honey, or stevia, at least from the mineral content. Chronic illness reduces HCL. Drinking ice water with meals will also inhibit HCL. And as you age and you get older, stomach acid production tends to decrease, especially if there's any chronic illness. If you take antacids, that'll reduce HCL. Certain prescription drugs and over-the-counter drugs that suppress hydrochloric acid production, they do it either directly or indirectly. If you have fungal overgrowth, that'll decrease it as well. So there are a few ways that you can improve stomach acid. All right, so you have to relax at mealtime. Imagine that. You can't be eating when you're driving in the car. Avoid eating when you're stressed or emotionally upset because this will stop the production of HCL. And fermented foods, add those to your diet. Eat unpasteurized, unheated, salt-free sauerkraut and other fermented vegetables like kimchi. Fermented vegetables help to raise the stomach acid if it's too low and lower it if it's too high. How cool is that? So eat about a quarter to half a cup of sauerkraut with meals can be very helpful for the digestive system. An awareness of certain important vegetables and how they're grown, you can find great fermented vegetable options near you, I'm sure, in the grocery store. Look for fermented veggies, even at your local food market. A lot of places have good quality salt. You have to eat good sea salt because sea salt is also helpful because it allows you to produce stomach acid. So another great way is staying away from processed foods, genetically modified foods, fast foods, additives, and dyes, all of which are devoid of nutrition. If you're not bringing nutrition into the diet, you can't bring minerals into the diet, and you won't produce good HCL. Also, any of the white flours, the white flour, white sugar, artificial sweeteners, and even avoid overeating. Even healthy foods, avoid overeating healthy foods because that'll just fill your stomach and you won't have good acid digestion. Use good quality sea salt, as I just mentioned, which stimulates stomach acid production. My favorite is pink sea salt, which provides a good dose of minerals for your health, like magnesium. You can do another thing. You can increase zinc intake because zinc is critical for HCL production. You can do that. One great way to do increase zinc is to eat pumpkin seeds. That's a great concentrated non-meat food source of zinc. Most foods that are high in zinc are animal foods like beef, lamb, crab meat, turkey, chicken, lobster, clams, and salmon. Zinc food sources aside from meats would be dairy products such as yogurt, kefir, cheese, nutritional yeast, peanuts, beans, whole grain cereals, brown rice, whole wheat bread, and potatoes. Vitamin C, vitamin E, B6, and minerals such as magnesium can increase zinc absorption in the body. So maybe even adding a whole food supplement will help with assimilation. So you want to choose a whole food multivitamin that will allow you to have some zinc in there too. You can take any type of vitamin that has those items is going to help increase HCL. B vitamins are especially important. So look for niacin, thiamine, peroxidyl 5-phosphate, which is the active form of B6. Those are good choices for a supplement. Also, you can use good food combining techniques for proper digestion. I know this kind of makes a lot of people's eyes glaze over, but proper food combining takes a certain amount of pressure off the system, okay? Do not eat proteins and carbohydrates and starches together. Carbohydrates reduce the production of HCL, and protein requires HCL to be digested. So instead, pair proteins with low-starch veggies. To aid the body in digesting animal protein, you can soak meats in acidic mediums such as lemon or lime juice, tomato juice, apple cider vinegar, yogurt, etc. Marinating foods is a really good way to pre-digest or pre-cook them. Always eat good fats when you eat proteins. Protein stimulates stomach acid production, and protein and fats together stimulate the gallbladder to dump bile in the small intestine. Good fats are also needed by the liver in order to produce bile. Now you want to eat your carbohydrates and your starches with vegetables and eat your fruit alone, not with meals. When possible, you can add dandelion greens with meals and soups or as a green to increase HCL production. You could also consider the spices you use in cooking, which can stimulate stomach acid production and appetite as well. The other thing that will help with producing stomach acid is you got to chew your food thoroughly. I'm guilty of that many times, of just eating just a little too quickly. So remember to chew your food, because your digestion actually starts in your mouth. Are you aware of that? So chew foods thoroughly to stimulate digestive enzymes in the mouth and to break up foods into smaller particles for better digestion. And then stop eating right before bed if you do that. Try to eat 3 or 4 hours before bedtime, and then what will happen is that you'll have a little bit of time to digest your food. And so when you do lay down, you're not necessarily going to sleep when your body's trying to digest the foods you're eating. If you do lie down or have to go to sleep after eating, prop yourself up a little bit with pillows so that your head and the upper part of your torso are raised to aid your digestion. And then finally, avoid snacking in between meals in order to allow your body time to digest the food you've just eaten. You can also drink hot tea with your meal, not cold water. Never drink ice water with meals, as it inhibits the production of stomach acid and slows digestion down. Isn't that what we do every time you go to a restaurant? You get a glass of ice water? Okay, so drink room temperature water or warm water then. If you'd like to drink with your meal, try adding maybe warm ginger tea, which increases the production of HCL. You can also drink dandelion root tea to increase production of HCL. If you don't prefer tea, make warm lemon water. Just use the juice of maybe about a half a lemon at the beginning of your meal. You can even drink 4 ounces of freshly juiced cabbage, which it can help with digestion as well and is really very good for ulcers, but doesn't taste very good. But again, it's not about taste, it's about effect. Then you can use a good source of hydrochloric acid, a supplement. Another way to boost it is to take a good quality HCL after your meals, and the goal is to restore the body's ability to produce its own HCL. But until this occurs, you can take like a betaine hydrochloric acid as you're trying to make changes in your diet. And please be aware, if you're taking medications, consult with your physician before you take any hydrochloric acid supplements, just to make sure you don't have any adverse reactions with certain medications. Well, that was a lot of information, but hopefully it was helpful, and listen to it again if you need to. And hopefully, again, you realize the importance of adequate stomach acid and adequate gut health.